G'day guys, Duckville here. Welcome to another Korean replay that I have found on the ladders. This one is going to be featuring probably a partially known player, SoundWeRRa. Up here there's the Terran, blue Terran at 12 o'clock, and he is going to be facing this red Protoss here, whose name roughly, if I did it correctly, translates out to creation of the morning, or I'm assuming creation of the dawn, something like that. I do not know. Someone, if you actually have an idea who this dude is, please let me know, because I actually am not totally sure, and so I'm probably going to be calling him Red Protoss or Protoss Dude or something along those lines. You never know. I could call him just a drop bear. I do not know, but let's see how we go with this one. We are on crossbots on Lost Temple, and this is generally pretty good for a Protoss to be crossbots against Terran. It can give them options to just do a really simple fast expand. I'm hoping that dog cannot be heard through the mic because there is a friggin' dog barking outside. But anyway, you can see sorts of things on Lost Temple when you crossbots like this, such as just sort of really early sort of one gate robo expands, or even just one gate expands if you're into that sort of thing. I myself actually like early expands even quicker, such as you can do like a 15-16 Nexus. That's one thing I really like to do on this map when you're across spots, but generally, of course, you don't actually know that you're cross spots, so it's a bit of a risky tactic to do that one. So noobs at home, do not try that one unless you are a crazy person like me. We've got Protoss guy is just grabbing his gateways, setting up his pylons around the joint so he can make sure he can spot anything coming through. We've got a Rax on the way from SoundWeRRa. He's going to be just getting probably something standard, I would assume, not walling off, because of course high level sorts of play you rarely see in PvT. You rarely see those sorts of proxy gates anymore, especially after the Protoss nerf to Zealots, given that they do have a bit longer on their creation time, and so you rarely see those sorts of strats anymore these days. But you never know. But as we can see, SoundWeRRa hasn't actually walled in, so he's not going to be protected against that. But he won't really need to, because of course, as we can see, our Protoss is actually just grabbing a cyber core. He's going to be getting that out pretty quickly, so he can make sure he's got a stalker on the way. Whoa, let's control the mouse there. SoundWeRRa is going to get his SCV in here. He's going to be scouting out what's happening. You can see 2 gas, standard sort of gas timing there for Protoss, and he can see that the cyber is out. We've got Red Protoss actually has his probe sitting here at the Xel'Naga watchtower, because I believe he got pushed out. I think he saw the Marine and then he just got pushed back by the Marine. So he's not going to be able to get too much information there on what SoundWeRRa is doing. But of course, SoundWeRRa, brilliant timing there, getting the SCV out just as the Stalker popped out of the gateway. And as we can see, the Stalker's going to give chase, but he's not going to be able to catch that SCV, which is going to run home and let the dudes know what's happening at the Protoss base. So we are getting, yeah, there we go, the early command center there from SoundWeRRa. He's going to be doing the concussion grenade expand, which is just a standard sort of thing as well when you cross spots. It's really good to see that sort of build. I'm a big fan of macro, but he's going to be supply block for just a second here, unless this one supply depot finishes building. There it is, and he's got the, as we said, the command center on the way, which is going to be used for that fast expansion. A couple of racks going up, which is this standard sort of early command center into 3 racks build, and he's probably going to grab a bunker down here once he gets ready to take the natural. A probe sitting out here trying to be cool, just sitting at the natural there. It's going to try and run in, but it is not going to get anywhere because the concussion shells are done on the Marauders, so they're going to slow it down. Pylons still going up all over the place here from Protoss. He's going to be getting an observer out so he can make sure he can actually see what is happening inside the Terran base, because of course just for the moment here, the probe really did not see much that was happening up here at the Terran base. So what he's going to be doing is getting the observer out so he can scout out what's happening while he takes this natural expansion here, because as he's assuming that he's got some pretty good time to actually get that expansion up without worrying about being harassed or anything like that. He's going to make sure he's controlling this Xel'Naga watchtower as well, just so we can see if there is anything coming. And as we can see here, the observer just scouting across here. It's going to come up from the south and just make sure he can see any extra buildings that are off to the side of the Terran base. But as we can see, there is really not much to see here. And SoundWeRRa has now grabbed the natural expansion. He's got stim and combat shields on the way for his Marines. And so they're going to be pretty potent once they get that rolling. SCVs get transferred down to the natural expansion. The one of the refineries goes up, so he's now got his 3 refineries up. He's probably going to get the 4th in just a moment, I would assume, once the other one is done. And as we can see here, we've got just a couple of sentries out for the Protoss, just to make sure you can shield off, force field off, sorry, any sorts of attacks that might come along from SoundWeRRa. And he does also get his own probe transfer going along. So really sort of heavy on the macro just at the moment from both of these players. They're just happy to sit back. Of course, the Terran is happy to sit back and just macro up. He's going to be getting his tech rolling in a second once this factory gets up and running. And he's going to stim here and scan this observer and take it out. Nice work there by SoundWeRRa. Just a really small sort of thing, but it will count so that he can actually get his tech going up without too much intrusion from the observer. But another one does come in, so he's going to either need to sacrifice another scan and some stim, or just let this one go, because this observer is going to see what's happening, and it will see that starport that's going up there from SoundWeRRa. Meanwhile, back at the Protoss, naturally, he's got his 2 assimilators up, and he's going pretty hard on the income there. So we're sort of round about just even in terms of as a total, because SoundWeRRa's got a bit more gas on the way, and he is doing well with his minerals. But as we can see, the mules are actually making up a lot of difference on the income there, and as you would expect to see once you crank those mules out. So nothing too interesting happening just at the moment. Another great little tip here for the newer Protoss kids who are watching: make sure you chuck down some pylons just around the joint. Number one, to spot any incoming attacks that might fly by this, like some dropships, or perhaps a Banshee might fly by this pylon and actually see what's and you'll be able to see it and react in time. And also, of course, so you can actually warp in some units around the place. So it's a great little strategy to keep in your pocket, because it's just really good to have the pylons around to spot and to warp in all sorts of things around the place. So good work there by our red Protoss at the south. So he's got Colossus out just at the moment, and he's going to have, I would assume, there it is, the extended thermal lance is just about done, and we've got 2 Colossus completed now. So we've got 2 Colossi, a couple of sentries, and a couple of zealots just at the moment. Nothing too extravagant in terms of his army just for the moment. And we've got a probe, this probe also coming across here just to put down a pylon, make sure he can get some spotting done. And he's also going to see this SCV coming across. Perhaps this is just they're just scouting each other, but this SCV doing a bit of a dance, and he's going to come over and take a few pot shots at this probe, but the probe is going to get out of there. Factory down here is actually doing some scouting, as we all know from a couple of other games which I've had going around. There's some factory scouting, but a drop is coming across here. Some marauders are being dropped into the base. Stemming up those marauders will take care of all of those, the pylon there, but he actually pulls them straight out. So he's just going to be doing a little bit of harass here. I would suspect this is just to cover the expansion here to the gold, and just to make sure that he can actually get that up without being too worried about any other attacks. Now, this factory is going to be watching this gold expansion from the Protoss as well, just to make sure he can actually see when the gold is going to be put up, because that may initiate the timing for an attack by SoundWeRRa. So we might see him just grab a few more units just at the moment so he can actually get that attack rolling. He is supply blocked at the moment, though. Not something you always see from these high-level players, but he does get the 2 supply depots up. And as we can see down here, the Protoss has gotten the rocks out of the way, so he's going to be grabbing that the gold, sorry, quite quickly. Another drop down here. We've got a medevac with a couple of marauders. They don't actually take out anything, but the marauders do a little bit of damage. One zealot, I think that was, went down. Nearly got a couple of stalkers as well. These guys over here just almost taking some too much damage there, but the medevac didn't get out. So 1 medevac down for our Terran player. He's just going to fall behind a little bit in that regard. As we can see, he's pumping out a lot of Vikings to make sure he can control the skies and make sure that he can control the Colossi numbers from our Protoss player. But as you can see, guys, the Protoss has actually moved across to Templar tech as well. So he's going to have some Storms up his sleeve shortly once the Storms is done, which is just in a few seconds, and some more Templar are warping in here. So he's going to have a lot of Storms available, which is going to be really good against this Bio Force from our Terran player. So SoundWeRRa is going to need to have a look at perhaps his particular unit combination, and he might need to switch up to something else, maybe grab some more Marauders, perhaps grab some Ghosts perhaps to EMP, but it looks like we may have an attack coming in here. And we've got a bit of a battle there. There is some Storms going down. The Colossi sitting at the back, taking shots at all of the Marines. But as you can see, the Vikings are just taking care of the Colossi here. Both Colossi are now down. Storms are going off all over the joint. Some force fields doing a great job holding in these Marines. And this guy is stuck. He is going to be... he is not going to be taking that dropship home because he is just dead now. And a great little battle there from these two players. And as we can see, that was... It wasn't really a totally even battle. I suppose you could say the Terran might be a little bit more of a victor there, considering he did take out two Colossi, which